That's a beautiful fade there, Tom.
That was a bit more consistent. I'm a bit worried about the click though, like
Yeah, we're probably
making a loud click. That's where I'm at. So I've still got a little bit more to finesse.
Coming up, Paul McCartney, you heard that first. Sandwich in the middle, the band, Chest Fever. And just then, Home at Last, Steely Dan. Wanted to ask, what's next for Ryder? What's coming up?
So, working with Tomorrow Man and Tomorrow Woman has just completely changed my life. Bit of a tempo change, but like we're in a pretty fascinating time in this country with domestic violence and how many women are getting murdered. So I wanted to talk about being an ally. And I think the last few years, like I've really spent time just talking to girls and women in my life, just how I can show up better. And just try to be, the best kind of feminist that I can be. So I'd love you guys to think about just different ways you show up for girls or women in your life or ways you'd like to, because that's kind of what I'm really passionate about. So in the Tomorrow Man workshops, it's all about helping boys break down stereotypes and be able to have better relationships, be able to express themselves and just have a better tomorrow. And we do it in a way that's like empowering and getting guys to like not feel like they're under attack or being blamed, but rather going, hey guys, we hold power in society because we don't have to worry as much about our body image or our safety. So what role can we play in helping lift others up? So it's quite empowering. But if I think about like times or stories where I've shown up for women, I can think of like at my footy club, which I'm a year into retirement too, so I know how you're feeling. We've got a women's team, and on Thursday night dinners, the men and women sit on separate tables, and I always found that really weird. I'm like, what are we doing? So I'd always sit on the women's table and just chat to them. And that was a simple thing that I did that was like, just made a huge difference, because when I retired, so many players came up to me and were like, hey, that was really nice when you did that. Or even I was asking them about what's been going on in the media and how do you guys feel about that and what's your experience of guys. And so that was one of the ways I showed up. And then I can think of a time when you were talking about what Adam Simpson said to you about a footy trip. It took me back to a footy trip where, what happened? We'd been drinking all day and we went back to a villa and two women came. We didn't know who they were and they were just having a good time in the pool. And one of my teammates, a younger guy, was really sloshed. And I remember it so vividly. And he started just throwing comments to them. He kept going, oh, how much? How much? And the girls were pretty upset. And some of my teammates like had a laugh. And I was like, oh no. And I was just sitting there kind of watching it unfold. And I'm like, I have to say something.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't want to be that guy. This feels so intense. Like, it's just like, do I have to do anything? And I was kind of like, I stood up and I was like, hey, mate, we don't speak to people that way. Pull your head in. Like, just stop doing that. And he's like, fuck you, Ryder, you're old. What would you know? And I just held my ground and I stayed calm. And I was like, sit down, just apologise. And he ended up passing out on a couch. And I apologised to those girls. I was just like, I'm really sorry. He was making those jokes. They're shit. It was like, wasn't a nice end to the trip, but the next day I got to talk to the teammate. I got to speak to some of the guys that were laughing, and I'm so glad I did that, but it felt like a real kind of cinematic moment. So for me, musically, I wanted to finish with some Doechii. Because she's done a song with West Side Gun, a rapper I'm obsessed with, and she is just like fierce and soft and strong and everything, and I just love her. But wanted to hear from you guys of just like, you're raising a daughter. I'm just keen to hear from either of you, ways you have shown up for girls or women, or ways you'd like to, if anything comes to mind.
I recently listened to the first half of a podcast Abby Chatfield did with Dr. Vincent Hurley. And the crux of it was like, domestic violence is actually like a really bad name for it. Because domestic violence would almost imply that it's going both ways. It's actually a male problem. It's our problem that women are getting killed.
Yeah.
It's our problem that women are getting bashed and feeling uncomfortable. So it's not this like, the term is just fucking bullshit in my eyes after hearing that, right? It's like, no, it's our problem.
And also that women have to change their lives in order to be safe is just crazy. They can't go for runs. Well, they can, but they have to adjust their lives based on something that's not they're in their control, which is hectic.
I can remember a time at the cricket club, and young dudes like 20 years old, gone out clubbing, and take a young girl back home. One of the housemates takes a young girl back home. The other guy's in the other room, and he kicks the door down and filmed and had a laugh. And then they're like, oh, whatever, and they were like laughing about it. And I was just like, no. And I'm so proud of myself that I've just always been strong in that way. And I was just like, hey, bro, like, I understand, but like, I want you to delete that video. And that's something I don't think you should ever do again. Like, can you think about, I understand you were having a joke, but can you think about how that young girl felt in that moment, and then how she would feel moving forward, and the safety with partners and stuff like that, and maybe the shame that would have carried. And he was just like, yeah, shit. And from then on, just like deleted the video and changed his tone. And like, I think it's totally fine to make a mistake. It's how you come back from it. And if you own it and you're just like, man, that's my bad.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that. And own it and move forward. It's the
That's
best
how
thing
you
can
grow.
do.
That's how you learn.
100%.
And I also understand why people are scared to take that accountability, because they think they'll get cancelled. But if you can do it in a safe environment like that, where you talk to the guy and you come at it with curiosity, they often don't know the impact of what they're doing until
Didn't think about it. Just thought he was being one of the boys. But that term is like, obviously the work you're doing is like, one of the boys is really, that term needs to be flipped on its head and think about what a man, one of the boys actually is. Tom?
So yeah, when you mention it, actually kind of like almost got me a bit shameful. Like, oh damn, you spoke about the word ally, like how are you being an ally to the women in your life, right? And I've done a bit of advocacy for domestic violence through like being a public persona with West Coast. They had a partnership with White Ribbon. And then the 16 Days in WA campaign, which is like a state government campaign to raise awareness about domestic violence, and particularly in Western Australia, it's really bad. And you're right, the problem's terrible. And so I've done some sort of public advocacy for a good cause, but I've really never actually thought about how to support and start making like active contributions in my own life with my sister, with my mum, with my partner, with my cousins, with all the women that I know, just to like you said, go and sit at the table metaphorically and just like sort of start prying about it, being like, hang on, like I support these things and this is a terrible cause, and the stats are really cooked. Like, is this legit? How has it happened for you? Have you ever had incidents? What are the things that have like really make you feel that way? And just prying a bit to understand the problem, not in like a broad third person, I'm Tom Barrass sense, so I can regurgitate it, so I can actually like apply it and help if there ever was something in my immediate area. So it was a cool way for me to reframe it, hearing you say like, how can you be an ally? Like, how are you actually being on someone's team rather than just being like, yeah, no, this is an issue that needs to stop.
You'll be astonished by what they share with you. Like, some of the stories my partner shared with me, I'm just like, holy hell, I just can't believe you've had to live your life that way. We had one recently. She went to the gym and she came back like 15 minutes. And I'm like, what happened? Like, you were really looking forward to going to the gym, and she was really angry. And I go, what happened? And she goes, I was on a treadmill and I was the only one in there, and this guy comes in. He's not in gym gear, he's in boots, and he comes onto the treadmill right next to me and is just staring at me like staunchly. And she's like, what the fuck? So she was like, stuff this. She comes home and I instantly go into like protect mode. I'm like, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to tell him that that's not on, I'm going to speak to the manager. And she gets more and more upset. And I go, what's wrong? I go, isn't that what you want? She goes, that's not what I want at all. I'm not telling you, I'm not asking you to do that. I just want you to like acknowledge how I'm feeling.
Just
and
listen.
that's all. Just listen. That's all I need. And it was such a good wake up call. I was like, yes, like I don't need to like play some role. The only role I need to play is, hey, that sounds horrible. Is there anything I can do? Like, and it was a great lesson of going, don't just assume, just see what, just be curious. I
think
guess.
that's great advice. Sometimes I'm quite guilty, especially my own partner's very vocal about this own topic. And, you know, I haven't gone and sourced the Abby Chatfield show myself. She sent it to me. It's like, you need to listen to this. And I think I'm a strong ally and a strong advocate, but like, we've not once like broached the topic here. So for you to bring it up and for you to continually throughout the session be like, hey, these are important things to talk about. I think it's something to check in throughout the rest of what Pass the Orcs will be, for sure, man. So thank you for bringing that up.
Love that. So as we wrap today,
and we listen to rap.
Yeah, I want to talk about MF Doom.
That earring that's been shining at Tom and I. We've been excited for this.
So, like, hip hop is a massive part of my repertoire, but it's late. Like, it started early when I was younger with like Beastie Boys and stuff, and then I hadn't fully explored. And then around 2016, started with Wu-Tang. Then that branched out to A Tribe Called Quest, and it just kind of. Now I love like modern. The only modern rapper I like is like Danny Brown because he does pretty weird shit.
I love Danny Brown.
Have you listened to his podcast?
Yes.
Oh, that is a show.
I'd seen Danny at a St. Jerome's Laneway Festival. In
Oh
Freo.
my god.
Yeah.
He's all like cut now and stuff. And then there's like guys from Griselda like Boldy James and Bruiser Wolf, and there's heaps of stuff. But MF Doom, this song Rap Snitches is just the craziest sample I've ever heard. It's this guitar line and is the catchiest thing I've ever heard. So being an inquisitive, curious young man, I was like, where's this sample? What is this sample? So the sample, and this is a nice way to wrap it up because it's taking us back to our mate David Bowie. So there's some guy called Dave Matthews. It's not the Dave Matthews Band, which is some American band. It's just a guy called Dave Matthews. He does a cover of David Bowie's Space Oddity, and it's a pretty weird cover. Like, it's like that song doesn't need to be covered. It's a great song. But like 4 minutes in, there's like this real spacey guitar solo, and that's what MF Doom takes to be the sample for Rap Snitches. And it's just the best guitar line. So wanted to kind of finish with Rap Snitches.
Mate, we've got Doechii and Westside Gun.
Yeah.
We've got
Swearing
MF
warnings.
Doom. Oh, yeah.
And I'm just apologising for any homophobic or misogynistic language. I was saying to you guys over the listening session, I do not listen to lyrics at all. I only listen to production and vibe.
Yeah.
I do not listen to lyrics, so I need to start listening to lyrics because it will open up my mind more. But apologies in advance.
I think on behalf of Tom and Doz, the two producers and co-hosts here at Pass the Orcs, or formerly, we would love to thank you for coming on today. You've been a fantastic host, and your music selection, vibe check, like you said, a little bit of history in there about the way it all mixes together, and then related to your experiences in life. Like, you epitomise what we're trying to achieve here at Pass the Orcs, man, and I really thank you for coming on. You've been fantastic.
Man, being able to talk so comfortably with you as if like microphones aren't even there, and like the disarming techniques that you don't know you're applying, like, and for me to talk about potential substance abuse issues and opening up about family and stuff, and just feeling so comfy, like what you're doing out there for the kids and their future lives, and for them to treat women correctly and their friends correctly and all different genders and groups, man. Like, you should be so proud of what you're doing, because I think you are genuinely making a difference. Because right now, I think you've made a difference to us about what we're going to think about, and hopefully the staff out there, the PTA staff, they'll hopefully feel the same.
Jans, that means the world to me. And in our work, we're always looking for like tomorrow people or tomorrow men, and like you guys are doing it. Like, you're out there, like putting out good vibes. Encouraging people to grow and taking accountability for anything you guys have done. So just thank you so much for taking a bit of a punt, a bit of a gamble, and having me. And it was nice talking tunes and talking real shit.
www.passtheorcs.com.au. Buy some merch. That's Jack Ryder, the new host of PTA. I think Tom and I are done. Epic show. We'll see you guys soon.
Nice.
Mate.
I think you called me Jack Ryder at the end. He was a cricketer. It was almost perfect.
Oh, I do that all the time.